What's going on, guys? It's your boy the Markham Knight here. Today's video is going to be all about the WandaVision episode 3. Now, it did just drop last night. I did watch it. Before I go into my review of it, I do want to give you a recap and my theories of what could be going on. Now, for a very quick recap, for those of you who have not watched it, maybe this is the time to go watch it first before you watch this video. But the quickest recap I can give you is that Wanda's twins are born. She does have twins like she did in the comic books. They are named Billy and Tommy, just like they were in the comic books. Now, it did happen within this 20-minute episode, and I think it's kind of going in real time. So it's within about 20 minutes of time. She not only had a pregnancy, but she went past her 9 months and had her kids. Now, Vision is a little thrown by this, and we do see that Vision kind of starts reacting to it and starts asking questions and stuff like that, and then Wanda just kind of rewinds it again and then kind of does the story. So this kind of makes me think that Vision does have consciousness. Now, this could be just Wanda's memory of him, giving him what she would think his reactions and stuff like that would be, because she is able to alter it. Wanda has always had, and Scarlett Witch in the comics has always had reality altering powers, so we don't necessarily know the extent of her powers. But I think this whole thing is a manifestation that Wanda has done. It is the House of M storyline, in my personal opinion. It's the MCU's version of the House of M. Now, in the House of M storyline, Mephisto played a big part in it. For those of you who don't know who Mephisto is basically a demon. Those of you who read DC, Mephisto is kind of like Trigon. He has his own pocket dimension that he's the ruler of, and he calls it Hell, and he calls it Hades, and all this stuff like that. But basically, he's kind of the demon, the devil for his pocket dimension. So in the comic books, Wanda uses his soul to create her 2 kids. And then when he reabsorbs them, they're dead, and then we go into the House of M storyline. So now this is basically the House of M storyline, but the first part didn't happen, so I don't necessarily know if they're going to follow it directly and they're going to bring Mephisto in to kind of take these kids away from Wanda, because it already seems like she's in her dream world. And this is the next thing that kind of we got from this. In this, we discover that Geraldine, the black girl, who's her friend, is an agent of S.W.O.R.D., and Wanda kicks her out of her little area. So Geraldine's now exposed as who she is, and her neighbors, Agnes and his black neighbor, they're kind of talking about it, and they're like, well, she's not really from here and stuff like that, and they're kind of leading towards something, but they don't say it. But I think what they were trying to say is she knows we're all trapped. The fact that they're kind of stuck in this world with Wanda in this little community in this neighborhood and stuff like that. I think that's what they were leading towards. Now, Agnes herself, a lot of people have hypothesized that that is Agatha Harkness from the comic books, who is Wanda's mentor. And again, I don't think this is all just Wanda's mind, where it's just happening in her mind. It's actually happening in real time, because at the end of it, we see Geraldine's thrown out from the little, I forgot the name of the town, but from the little town, she's thrown out. So there might be a force field around this town, and people are kind of seeing what's happening in the town on a TV show. So that's basically what we get to watch. And S.W.O.R.D. is kind of trying to infiltrate that and everything. There was like another Hydra thing that was dropped in the commercials, but again, that's all stuff that she's kind of doing with her head and stuff like that, where she's kind of just thinking about stuff that probably happened in her life like that. But in terms of actual theories of like where I think this is going to lead, I do feel like this is going to lead directly into the House of M storyline. Vision is clearly having trouble accepting everything as it's happening. His wife got pregnant and everything within half hour, had her babies and stuff like that. So he knows something's not right, and he's discovering more and more that something's not right. Everyone's saying kind of that they won't be able to kind of get out of here. So it's kind of like a big reveal to Vision at some point or another. Now, in terms of my actual review, I still find this pretty boring. I mean, there's not a lot happening here. It's extremely underwhelming for me. There's not a lot happening that that can get me excited about it. Now, the storyline in the comic books is really cool, but this is obviously not following directly from that. They're doing their own version of it. They're not adapting it. It's not direct adaptation. Not to say they should, but what they're doing right now is not exciting me personally. It's not for me. I don't think I'm their demographic this is gonna be appeasing to me. They still have a lot of corny and campy jokes and stuff like that. This one is set in the 60s, I believe. So they have humor kind of like the 60s, and that's very campy, and the jokes don't hit right, or at least for me they haven't hit right, and I haven't been impressed with it. Like I said, it's for me the biggest thing that I had in the first two episodes that I said. It's the same as that. It's super underwhelming. I will not be watching these episodes again. I feel like I got the Easter eggs that I'm pretty sure I was gonna get from this out of it, and what I figured out, I'm pretty sure that's what they wanted us to figure out. I'm not gonna be rewatching these. I'm still waiting for something to happen. And the type of sitcom I feel like is gonna be very different, because it's like if you watch Big Bang Theory, or if you watch like Two and a Half Men or something like that, something that's set at least within the last 2 decades, I feel like the jokes would probably hit for us a lot better. But these jokes in the 60s and 50s and 40s so far have not hit with me. And they have a lot of campy jokes and stuff like that. They still have 2 more decades of very, very campy jokes before they even hit the 90s, where it starts to get a little more serious and a little more chill. And have shows, even shows like Seinfeld, had some campy jokes and stuff, but they were still better. Or at least in my personal opinion. Like I said, my review is that it's still underwhelming, it's still kind of boring, and I'm still just watching this because I know it connects to Spider-Man 3 and that it connects to Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange movie. Anyways guys, did you watch the episode? Did you like the episode? Tell me what you think.
This is the Markham Knight, and I need you to like, comment, and subscribe.